stopping, hold on to your seats, folks, because we've got a scandal that's hotter than anything reality TV has ever seen. You thought you knew the drama, the betrayals, and the backstabbing, but this is next level. The two kings of love and hip-hop. Kirk Frost and Mendeecees are being blacklisted from reality TV, and trust me, you won't believe the jaw-dropping reason behind it. What could possibly bring down these reality TV royalty figures? Was it a wild scandal, a career-ending mistake, or is it something darker and even more explosive than what we've been led to believe? Sources are spilling tea that is so hot, it's almost too much to handle. There's a shocking twist in the saga that no one saw coming, and imagine this after years of being at the center. Love and hip-hop's most unforgettable moments, from cheating rumors to family feuds, Kirk and Mendeecees have now become the biggest outcasts in reality TV history. But why? Why would a show that built its empire off of their drama suddenly turn its back on them? What happened behind the scenes that led to their shocking downfall? Stay with me, because this scandal is deeper, darker, and more scandalous than you could ever imagine. Trust me, by the end of this, you'll never look at Kirk and Mendeecees the same. Why again? You thought Kirk and Mendeecees were untouchable. You thought they'd outlast any scandal thrown their way, right? Well, think again. After years of being at the heart of love and hip-hop drama, these two are suddenly facing the biggest crisis of their careers, and it's all about to come crashing down in front of their eyes. But how did it happen? How did two of reality TV's most iconic figures end up blacklisted from the entire industry? Let's break it all down. Kirk Frost, the one-time fan favorite and beloved bad boy turned family man, has been a central figure on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Since day one, he's had his fair share of scandal, sure affairs, cheating rumors, and even a baby mama saga that rocked the entire show. But somehow, no matter how deep the drama, Kirk always managed to make a return to the spotlight, captaining fans' attention with his unpredictable behavior. Then there's Mendeecees, the man who made Prize in Time look like a mere stepping stone in his career. He built his legacy not just on love and hip-hop, but on being a heartthrob with a story of redemption that kept fans glued to their screens. His family drama, his marriage to Yandy Smith, and the legal battles have faced became staples of the show, always keeping the viewers at the edge of their seats. These two were the love and hip-hop power couple everyone loved to hate. And for years their names were synonymous with drama, but things took a big turn. Sources close to the show are revealing that it all started with whispers. Behind the scenes, their relationship between Kirk and Mendeecees, which had been strained for some time, had finally reached a boiling point. The producers, always hungry for drama to fuel the show, noticed the tension and saw an opportunity, but what they didn't expect was the explosion that followed. It all came to a head at a Love and Hip Hop after party one that wasn't supposed to be anything more than a quick wind down before the official reunion show. But behind closed doors, the drama didn't just stay between Kirk and Mendeecees. It turned into a full-blown altercation that would eventually result in a shocking fallout. Multiple sources have confirmed that Kirk and Mendeecees were not getting along. There were rumors of trash talk behind the scenes, with M's allegedly saying that Kirk was a washed-up husband who only stayed relevant because of Rashida's success. This didn't sit well with Kirk, who had spent years building his own legacy, and he wasn't about to let someone like Mendeecees disrespect it. It was a ticking time bomb waiting to explode. The altercation reportedly started off as a few choice words being exchanged, but as tensions rose, so did the aggression. Kirk, always the proud veteran of the Love and Hip Hop franchise, had his back against the wall. He was being insulted, accused of not bringing anything fresh to the show, and even off trying to fabricate fake beefs just to stay relevant. What made things worse was that Mendeecees had been vocal about how Kirk's past drama was holding the show back, and for someone like Kirk, this was the ultimate insult. He couldn't let this go. He had the nerve to say that I'm holding the show back, this from a guy who just got out of prison, a guy who was barely relevant before Yandy picked him up. Kirk reportedly vented to his fellow cast members. So what did Kirk do? He confronted Mendeecees alone behind the scenes. The stage was set for an explosive showdown that no one could have anticipated when they met. Backstage, things quickly escalated. What started as a heated conversation about the direction of the show and their respective roles in it soon turned personal. Maybe you should fix what's broken. Then allegedly taunted Kirk, his arrogance dripping from every word. This was the final straw for Kirk. Kirk's jaw clenched, his face twisted in anger. And in an instant, the confrontation turned physical in front of the producers. Crew members and a few other cast members' fists started flying. Kirk, who had been known for his fiery personality, shoved Mendeecees so hard that he was sent stumbling back into a chair, and then the punches began. It was chaos, fists flying, chairs crashing to the ground, and broken glass everywhere. Security rushed in to try and break up the brawl, but it was too late. The damage was done not just physically, but professionally. What was supposed to be a quiet after-party turned into the spectacle of the year, and of course someone had pulled out their phone the moment the fight broke out. It was all captured on camera, ready to be uploaded to the internet for everyone to see. Within minutes, clips of the fight spread like wildfire across social media. Fans are in shock, as this was unlike anything Love and Hip Hop had ever broadcast. The whole world was watching. Fans quickly took sides. Some supported Kirk, saying that Mendeecees had no business talking down on a Love and Hip Hop. Others sided with Mendeecees, accusing Kirk of being the aggressor. But one thing was clear: no one was prepared for the fallout that would follow, and that's where things took a dark turn. Behind the scenes, Love and Hip Hop producers and executives were scrambling. This wasn't just a typical fight, this was something that could potentially destroy the entire brand. Producers were worried about the optics. They couldn't just brush this under the rug. Like previous scuffles on set, this was too violent, too intense, and too damaging. The fight had been caught on camera, and now the entire franchise was in jeopardy. An emergency meeting was called, and by the end of the night, the verdict was clear. Kirk and Mez were done, fired, blacklisted out of the picture. And it wasn't just about the fight anymore. It was their reputation, the trust. The entire image of Love and Hip Hop was on the line. Producers were worried about legal action, fan backlash, and the possibility that the fight might lead to further controversies. No one was willing to take that risk in a move that stunned the industry. Both Kirk and Mendeecees were banned from future Love and Hip Hop tapings now, warning no second chances, just a cold hard dismissal, and just like that, two of the biggest names in reality TV were kicked to the curb. But the question remained, was it really over for them, or would they find a way to come back? This wasn't just about two men getting into a fight on set. This was a story about power, ego, and respect. Kirk Frost, the self-proclaimed king of Love and Hip Hop, wasn't going to let this slide without a fight. He wasn't going down without a battle for his legacy and Mendeecees. He was determined to prove that the show couldn't just throw him away. But was it too late? Had the damage already been done? Only time would tell. The aftermath of Kirk and M's fiery altercation was nothing short of a spectacle. The reality TV world had been rocked to its core, and fans couldn't stop talking about it. The infamous fight at the after-show taping had not only ended with broken chairs and shattered glass, but it had also completely shattered the carefully constructed images of these two reality TV icons. But while the fans were still picking up the pieces of the chaos they'd witnessed, the real battle was just beginning behind the scenes. It didn't take long for the executives at Love and Hip Hop to realize the severity of the situation. This wasn't just another fight between cast members. This was a full-blown scandal that could make or break the entire franchise. Producers were in full panic mode. How could they fix this? How could they spin this to save their brand from imploding? The problem wasn't just that Kirk and Mendeecees had caused a scene. It was that they had caused a scene that was far too raw and dangerous to be left unchecked behind closed doors. The executives were discussing everything that had happened, trying to figure out how to handle the fallout. The fight had gone viral almost immediately. Clips the altercation flooded social media, and fans were weighing in with their opinions. The internet was divided. Some were siding with Kirk, insisting that he had every right to defend his legacy, while others argued that Mendeecees was justified in standing up for himself. But one thing was certain: the fight had gone way beyond what Love and Hip Hop could air. For entertainment value, one anonymous source from the production team shared with UCO the executives were scrambling. This was the worst-case scenario. Gario, we've had fights on set before, sure, but this was different. This was real, and it was dangerous. Fans love drama, but this wasn't the type of drama we can just sweep under the rug. This was career-ending stuff, and it wasn't just about the fight. It was the implications that followed. Legal concerns were now at the forefront. There were fears of lawsuits, potential damages, and even investigations. Could the production company be held liable for letting this behavior slide? The reputation of Love and Hip Hop had always been built on chaos, but the line had been crossed, a line that no one on the network was willing to ignore. And so the decision was made. Kirk and Mendeecees were out, blacklisted, no more appearances, no more cameras following their every move. No more storylines, they were finished, but while the love and hip-hop executives made their decisions, Kirk and Mendeecees weren't about to go down quietly the next morning. Kirk was pacing back and forth in his living room, trying to process the news. "This ain't real. This can't be happening here," portedly muttered to Rashida, his wife. "I've been with love and hip-hop since the beginning. I built this show, they need me. But Rashida ever." The calm voice of Reeson knew that this day was coming. She'd seen the writing. On the wall, "Kirk, you crossed the line, you put your hands on him, and now it's out. There's no going back from this." Kirk wasn't hearing it to him. This wasn't just about a fight, it was about his legacy. He had been one of the biggest stars of love and hip-hop for years, and now they were tossing him aside like he was nothing. His name was synonymous with the show, and to be pushed out so suddenly and dramatically felt like a betrayal. They can't just do this, they owe me. They can't just erase my history. Like that he was overheard saying mean, while across the country Mendeecees was sitting in his living room. With Yandi, he had received the same call and his body tensed up immediately. "Not this is some," he reportedly snapped. "I've been through too much toilets. This be the end, they need me on this show. I made it what it is." But Yandi, who had always been the voice of reason in their relationship, wasn't as convinced. She knew how the industry worked. "You've been on the show for years, man. They've made their decision. It's over, we have to think about what's next. This can't be the end of the story for us." Mendeecees was crushed. He had always thought of himself as essential to the show, and the thought of being discarded so easily stung. But even as the anger and frustration boiled over both, Kirk and Mendeecees knew one thing for sure. They weren't going to let this happen without a fight. Within hours of receiving the news, both men had lawyers on the phone. They weren't just going to accept this dismissal, they were going to fight. Mendeecees was determined to know if he could sue for wrongful termination. He felt betrayed by the very show that had given him fame and fortune. "This isn't just about a fight," he reportedly told his lawyer. "This is about respect. This is about my legacy. They can't just push me aside like this." Kirk, on the other hand, was thinking bigger. He wasn't just concerned about his career on love and hip-hop. He was concerned about his entire brand. He had built an empire, and he wasn't going to let it all crumble because of one mistake. "If they think I'm just going to disappear, they've got another thing coming," he reportedly told a friend. "I built my name, and I'm not going to let them erase me from reality TV history." But as the days went by, it became more and more apparent that the fight for Kirk and Mendeecees wasn't going to be as easy as they had hoped. The industry was turning on them. The rumors were swirling that they were being blacklisted from reality TV altogether. No one wanted to touch them, their once thriving careers. In the world of reality TV, we're now on the brink of collapse. According to multiple sources, no network wanted to take a chance on Kirk and Mendeecees. The fight had caused too much damage, and now the reputations of both men were in tatters. A major producer reportedly told us this isn't just about a fight anymore, it's about trust. If Kirk and Mendeecees can't control their temper, can we trust them on another show? It's a liability. The idea that they might never appear on reality TV again became a bitter reality. What seemed impossible was now all too real. Their empire was crumbling, and the networks weren't willing to take the risk. And then came the news that would change everything. The rumors of them being blacklisted were true. A source close to multiple networks confirmed we're not touching them. They're too much of a liability. They've made too many enemies. And the last thing we need is another public relations disaster on our hands. So what's next for Kirk and Mendeecees? Will they find a way to bounce back from this? Will they start their own platform, or is this truly the end of the road for them? In the world of reality TV, as the days stretched into weeks, the stark reality set in for both Kirk Frost and Mendeecees. What was once an industry built on their faces, names, and drama was now slipping away. Their influence was fading, and the blacklisting rumors had not only been confirmed, but their personal and professional lives were hanging in the balance. But here's the thing. These are two men who built their reputations from scratch, clawing their way up in the cutthroat world of reality TV. This wasn't the end of their story. Oh no, this was just the beginning of a new chapter, and you can bet that both Kirk and Mendeecees were not going down without a fight. Kirk, frustrated and feeling abandoned, wasted no time trying to salvage his career. He had built a name for himself over the years on love and hip-hop, and to have it all taken away in a heartbeat felt like betrayal. He wasn't ready to disappear into obscurity. "I'm not going out like this. Kirk reportedly told his closest friends, "I've made my mark on this industry, and I won't let some mistake erase everything I've worked for. I'm going to make sure people know the truth, and they'll respect me again. If I have to fight for it, I will." What was the next step for him? Well, the answer was clear. Kirk Frost was going to control his own narrative. He quickly reached out to his lawyer, demanding they sue for wrongful termination. "This isn't just about the fight," Kirk reportedly said. "This is about legacy, about respect. They used me for years, and now they want to raise me. Nah, that's not happening." And it didn't stop there. Kirk was determined to expose the inner workings of love and hip-hop. "I built the show. Without me, there is no show." He declared he knew the power of media and public perception, and he wasn't going to let this setback go unnoticed. Meanwhile, Mendeecees was wrestling with his own demons. Having been fired from the show was one thing, but being blacklisted from the entire reality TV industry was something else entirely. For someone who had built his brand on television and public persona, the threat of disappearing from the industry was devastating. Mendeecees wasn't one to give up, though he understood the business. He knew how to fight for what was his, so just like Kirk, he started to push back. But Mendeecees' approach was different. Instead of fighting through a legal battle, Mendeecees took to social media, launching a campaign to show his fans that he wasn't going down without a fight. In an emotional Instagram live session, Mendeecees shared his side of the tears welling in his eyes. "I've been through a lot," he said, his voice cracking. "I've been away from my family. I fought battles no one even knows about, and now this happens. But I'm standing tall. I'm not going to let this defeat me. I won't let anyone disrespect me, not on camera and not off camera." And of course, Yandy was there always, by his side, supporting him through every battle. "I've seen him go through worse than this," Yandy told their followers during a live session, "and we always come out on top. We'll make sure of it." But despite his confidence, Mendeecees was rattled. His life had been built on this industry. Without the cameras and the drama, who was he? What was left for him? Sitting with Yandy one evening, the weight of it all hit him. "I don't know if we'll bounce back from this," he admitted, his voice soft. Yandy, ever the strategist, wasn't one to wallow in self-pity. "We're going to make it work," she reassured him. "Always focused on the future. We've got our brand, we've got our fans, we'll find another way." It was clear that Yandy had already begun planning for their next move. She knew that the road ahead wouldn't be easy, but she also knew that they had something no network could take away: their fan base, their following, and their determination to succeed. "We're not relying on anyone else. We don't need VH1, we'll make our own show," she declared, confidently looking toward a future where they would take control of their own destiny, while Yandy remained optimistic. The reality for Mendeecees and Kirk was setting in. The entertainment industry had turned its back on them. No network wanted to touch them. Not after the drama, not after the fight, and certainly not after the backlash from fans and sponsors. Their phone calls were going unanswered, their mails ignored. The industry had effectively shut them out, but just when they thought things couldn't get any worse, the rumors started spreading. More and more sources began claiming that Kirk and M weren't just blacklisted from love and hip-hop, they were being blacklisted from reality TV altogether. No other shows, no other networks, no new opportunities. Everything was drying up. "That's it," Mendeecees reportedly muttered to Yandy one night. "I'm done, no more TV. Guess this is how it ends." But Yandy wasn't having it. She knew better. She refused to accept defeat. "No," she told him firmly, "this isn't the end. We'll create our own opportunities. We'll make our own show. If they don't want us on their platforms, we'll take it elsewhere. We don't need them. We've got our fan base. We've got our story. We'll build something bigger." While Ems and Yandy were strategizing their comeback, the public was a buzz with opinions. Fans are divided. Some argued that Kirk and Mendeecees had brought this on themselves, while others couldn't believe how quickly the industry had turned its back on them. One social media user tweeted, "Kirk and Mendeecees made love and hip-hop what it is today. They're being thrown away like trash. I can't believe it." But others weren't so sympathetic. "They can't be shocked. You can't put your hands on someone and expect no consequences," another user posted, adding to the growing division. What started as an intense fight had now turned into a full-scale public relations crisis. The damage was done, and the stain on Kirk and M's careers seemed irreversible. But as always, the two men weren't done fighting for their place in the spotlight. They both knew they would have to reinvent themselves. Kirk and Mendeecees weren't just reality TV stars, they were brands, and while the love and hip-hop chapter of their lives seemed over, they weren't about to let the world forget who they were. Despite the Mounting pressure despite the industry's refusal to give them a second chance, Kirk and Mendeecees were planning their next move. And, as Yandi said, the world hasn't seen the last of them. Stay tuned as we follow the saga of Kirk and Mendeecees, the two reality stars who refuse to go down without a fight. What do you think? Will Kirk and Mendeecees find a way to make their comeback? Will their new independent show succeed, or is this truly the end of their reality TV careers? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more updates on this unfolding drama. Trust me, you won't want to miss what happens next. The fight isn't over yet, not by a long shot. And there you have it, folks, the shocking saga of Kirk Frost and Mendeecees, two of the most iconic figures in reality TV, now blacklisted and fighting for their place in the entertainment world. But the real question remains, will they bounce back, or has this public fallout truly marked the end of their careers? Do you think they were unfairly punished, or did they take things too far? Will their upcoming independent projects win back their fans, or is the reality TV chapter closed for good? We want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Whose side are you on? Team Kirk or Team Mendeecees? Or maybe you think both of them went too far? If you want to stay up to date with every jaw-dropping twist in this ongoing drama, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a breaking update. Trust me, this story is far from over and there's more to come that you won't want to miss. Thanks for watching.